Welcome back to the Sports Daily Early Look, taking a look at the fourth Saturday of the Pinnacles Perth Racing Carnival. I'm Taylor Courtland and joined by Digby Beacham.
A very good morning to you, TC. Looking forward to day 4 of the Pinnacles, headlined, as you said, by the Group 1 Drummond Golf Northerly Stakes over 1,800 metres. For mine, this is the race of the carnival thus far.
Well, just hold your horses. We'll get there. We'll start off with the second feature. We'll go in racebook order. Race number 4 on the program. It's a Tab Touch GA Towton Cup, and some of these horses on their way to a Perth Cup. It's over the 2,200 metres, and at time of recording, the Tab Touch market has Black Fantasy at $2.20. Queen Alina at $3.90, another Chino at $5, and Nerf Boss heads the remainder at $13. Taking a look at the speed map, it was a tricky one. There's not much speed engaged.
There's one leader, and that being Black Fantasy, and he has been heavily commissioned since the prices went up for this race yesterday with Tab Touch in the afternoon. As you said, just a little bit better than even money at the moment. He was terrific, wasn't he, at his most recent outing, that being the scale over 2,100 metres. TC, on that occasion, he was up 600 metres in the space of 7 days, having run in the Peters the start prior, rode the speed, or certainly was the speed, and he gave a kick. He was very, very good on that occasion, running third. So he drops a kilo. He's going to be awfully hard to beat.
No apology this deep into a campaign now. Has had a few runs back, fourth time in. This time, maybe they chance their arm and go forward. Has been going back previously. Queen Alina and another Chino, they'll be allowed to find their feet and they'll settle midfield and try and run down Black Fantasy. You've touched on his form. The other two in the market, for mine, it looks like a race where there's 3 winning chances. Queen Alina's certainly in that boat. She's been running really well. If we go back to the Lucky Grey when she was beaten by another Chino, I'd argue she was probably the run of the race against what was the pattern on that day.
Yeah, I'd agree with that as well. And she wasn't horrible in behind some pretty handy ones, and one of those being Be Optimistic in the scale. Now, we know that Be Optimistic is going to the Group 1 there on Saturday in the Northerly. I just thought when the sprint went on, she couldn't quicken like Be Optimistic did, but her last 100 metres and then through the line was encouraging. Off that, from a low draw in a smaller field, perhaps she can settle a little bit closer. And if that's the case, I'm thinking the 2,200 metres is going to be right in her wheelhouse.
Another Chino, we can just put a line through his last start effort. He pulled up with a few issues post-race, and prior to that, he was racing really well. He
was a winner of the start prior. Most alarming aspect of that failure, when he did have excuses, elevated heart rate, he blew in the market. He it's the old saying, they knew. He drifted alarmingly for mine. Hopefully he can bounce back, because at his best, he is well and truly capable of winning this race, and he is 1 for 1 over the 2,200 metres.
I suppose we're going to find out, but my betting strategy is going to be $100 on Queen Alina. I'm just thinking Black Fantasy, if he can get a little bit of cover in his races, he might be a little bit better, and as you've mentioned, he probably just finds himself in front by default on the weekend. So I'm just going to go with Queen Alina just to run him down, but I think both horses are on track to run really good races in a Perth Cup.
Yeah, Ben and Dan Pearce for mine look like they have got a stranglehold on this race. Another Chino's a horse that I do like. I'm just wary of what we do with him, given the excuses that were prevalent at his most recent outing. But for me, I'm with you in regards to Queen Alina. I think she represents good value around that $4 quote.
The headline act on Saturday at Ascot runs at 4:45 p.m. It is the Drummond Golf Northerly Stakes, a race close to our heart diggers. We're frequent visitors of Drummond Golf, unfortunately. 1,800 metres, Group 1, Zaki. At time of recording, it's been a little bit easy since the barrier draw, out at $2.60 now with Tab Touch. El Safina at $7.50, a lot of good men at $10, and Bustler at $11, the top 4 in the market at the moment. From a speed map perspective, it's a Group 1, it's 1,800 metres, it's for $1.5 million. There's going to be good tempo.
There is going to be good tempo. Anytime Maricino is engaged in a race, there is good tempo. And from barrier 3, Jason Whiting will fire him to the top. It's just a matter of whether he has Zoom on to his outside or whether James McDonald elects to go there with Zaki. Now, Zaki's come up with barrier 10. You know that Zoom on has come up with barrier 15. He is an on-speed runner, but I would suggest Zaki is perhaps a little bit quicker out of the machines than Zoom On. He's got speed over a shorter distance than what Zoom On has displayed previously. It's just whether he elects to take the trail, J-Mac. And in saying that, we know that J-Mac and Zaki have a wonderful association with each other, and Zaki over 1,800 metres, 5 goes for 4 wins.
El Safina will settle midfield. Bustler will settle midfield. A lot of good men will settle midfield. They'll be trying to get over the top of the leaders. The big question mark, and I'll give you one word to answer this, Zip Away. Do they go forward?
Yes.
From the sticky map there, the 3-year-old. I think so, yes.
Yeah.
Can follow, drawn inside zoom on, you can sort of come across with that horse Stevie Parnham.
So question for you is, what do they do with a lot of good men who has that midfield draw?
I think he'll just find his feet.
Okay.
If he can find 3 wide with cover, that might be the best place
Yep.
he can be, and then he can make his move when he wants to.
Under 52 kilos, and he rattled home in the Guineas, didn't he? He was terrific, as was Zip Away, the winner. No knock on him.
Well, we'll start with the Guineas form, man. With Zip Away and a lot of good men. A lot of good men hit the line really well. Zip Away raced against his pattern. He was up on speed, and a day where they were sort of winning down the middle of the track. So I think the run and the win has a little bit more credit than it does to the eye. And he's a horse that we heard from Neville Parnham is just going to keep getting better and better.
Well, Neville knows the breed like no one else, and if he says this horse is capable of emulating his sire, that being Playing God and campaigning with success over in the autumn, you have to respect that. Now, a lot of good men ran behind Zip Away in the WA Guineas. He was closing late there on that occasion. Zip Away was brave, punching into that breeze, and he was terrific riding the speed. But the start prior, a lot of good men beat home Zip Away, so there's not a great deal between them. In saying that, one thing we can associate with Zip Away is the winner's tag. He knows how to get it done. It's been a little while between drinks for a lot of good men, but he gets an opportunity with that good gate and 52 on his back.
Zaki. It's impossible to punch holes in the form of Zaki, who's run around in a couple of Cox plates. He runs around in Group 1s for fun. Looks his race on paper.
It does, and I think I've learnt my lesson from last week. As much as I thought Overpass would be awfully hard to beat in the Winterbottom, you did have him on top. I went for an each-way play, looking for a little bit of value with Snowdome. Now that came unstuck. Overpass duly saluted. It was a dominant win. I'm thinking the best version of Zaki is beyond reach of the locals, and bravery awards for saying that, and I'm not being a smart aleck. It's just that this horse is a proven performer at Group 1 weight for age level, and he's proven over 1,800 metres. 47 starts, 15 wins, 17 placings for in excess of $10 million. He's a headline act wherever he went in the world. He's elected to come here. Zaki, or Annabelle Neesham, has elected to come here. Perth Racing's the beneficiary of that, and I suspect that they can take out the Group 1 on Saturday.
Another one-word answer, $2.60. Is it a good price?
Yes.
Which horse would you like to be with coming out of a railway stakes, if you think that is the right form line?
It's a really good question. Maybe Al Safina, only because she gets a weight pull on Bustler, and saying that they've drawn alongside each other. You?
Absolutely. I'll go with the bigger odds, Tricks of the Trade.
Yeah.
I thought he was pretty unlucky in a railway stakes, and then this time last year he ran around in a Northerly Stakes and he was beaten by the likes of Cascanian and Amelius Jewel. That form, if he turns up, I think is he going as well? Maybe not, but he's not far off his best.
No, and he was very, very good in this race 12 months ago. I'll throw another one at you. He was a Group 1 performer recently. He has placed in this race as a 3-year-old. It looks like he's going as well as ever. His 2 runs back have been terrific. Dom to shoot.
Drawn low, going to get a beautiful run. Just going to do no work, and he showed a turn of foot in the railway stakes that'll hold him in really good stead.
It's a great race, isn't it?
Absolutely. If I give you $100, how are you spending it?
It's pretty straight up and down for me. I'm with Zaki. I think the 260 is a good quote. Whether he starts better than that, I don't know. I've got him shorter than that. I've got him 230 in a market to 95%, so 260 is a tick for me.
I'll hunt a little bit of value. I'll have $25 each way, a lot of good men.
Yep.
$25 each way, Tricks of the Trade.
Okay.
We'll go hunting some value around Zaki in the Drummond Golf Northerly Stakes this Saturday at Ascot. If you are betting, do it with Tab Touch, and as always, do it responsibly.
You win some, you lose more. For free and confidential support, call the number on the screen or visit the website.